See, when the Holy Spirit invites us to reach others for Christ, he also empowers us. He gives us the words. You might have that prompting moment. Step into it. Let God show up for you in that moment. See, I believe that God is actively speaking to us all the time. The problem is we're too distracted. We're too busy. Or we're looking for certain things instead of looking for what he actually has for us. This became really apparent this past week. Deborah and I had a chance to go on vacation, and it was an amazing trip. We had never been to all the places that we went. We started in Bozeman, Montana, went into Yellowstone, to the Grand Tetons, Jackson, Wyoming, then up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and before that, Missoula, Montana, and then ended up flying out of Spokane, Washington. It was just beautiful. And I had chosen the first 5 days to be off my phone, just no social media, no email, no messages, and it was beautiful. I really believe that these phones are creating within us an addicted brain. And to just get time off, even if it's just for a few hours a day, maybe start there. You might be amazed at how much clarity you might discover. You also start to find all sorts of scary thoughts that pop up that we keep away from looking at our phone. But when you can work through that, there's so much beauty on the other side. And so part of the ways that God speaks to me, and I believe he can speak to you, is just maybe in mundane ways that you would have overlooked. So for example, I had read in a passage in the Gospel of John about God's glory. And for a couple days, I was just asking God, help me understand what this means. Help me see more of your glory. Then a few days later, I'm driving around in Yellowstone and seeing things I've never seen. It felt like we were on another planet. In fact, a few pictures for you. It's when I realized God was showing his glory through creation. Here's a Grand Canyon of Yellowstone. They need a better name for that. It's far, far more than that. Doesn't need to share a name. There we are at something called the Grand Prismatic. It's this remarkable thermal feature. Here's a bison this far away from me as I am from that picture now. Just a majestic animal. There's all these places. See, Yellowstone was a volcano, and now there's geysers and little spots like this. And so I just realized, oh, God answered my prayer. I asked for more of his glory. I'm seeing it all around me. Or then on this particular morning, we got there, just a week or so ago, and everything was closed for the winter until like the day before we got there. And so we wanted to go to Lamar Valley. They said there's lots of wildlife in the Lamar Valley. We want to go to the Lamar Valley. So we get up early and we start driving, and, we're not very organized people. My wife did a deep dive of research, and I knew when the flight was leaving. And so once we get there, I'm trying not to be on my phone, and I'm like, so what's the plan for tomorrow? And she's like, oh, I hate that phrase. It's like, that's like how you live life. You need a plan. And so I ended up using my phone on maps and trying to help organize like the places she knew she wanted to go and how to do them in the right order. And so we're figuring things out. And at one point I was like, it's so weird. If this is literally, Yellowstone was a volcano, why doesn't any of the list of what to see include the caldera? Like the opening of the volcano. And we were both just kind of talking about that. Isn't that weird? That's kind of weird. And so we're driving, and all of a sudden, I'm sipping on my huckleberry latte. And as we're going up the hill, Deborah's like, oh, can we pull off to that outlook? And I'm like, no, we're on our way to the Lamar Valley. And she likes, if I would have let her, we would have stopped at every outlook, right? But I thought, you know what? All right, let's go back. So we went back to the outlook, and we're standing there, and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. We see this picture. And it can't do justice, the 360 view, and you see little geysers going off all around. And then I walk over to the little sign there at the outlook, and it says this: you are looking out at the caldera. We had driven right past it. And if my wife, my junior version of the Holy Spirit, had not told me to turn around, I would have missed it, right? We would have missed it. There it was right in front of us. I've been on that trip. I've been reading a book by C.S. Lewis. It's a space trilogy. And I normally wouldn't give away too many plot points, but it's been out since 1943. So it feels like it's okay to fill you in a little bit. But basically, in the second book, you have this British professor who's now in Venus, the planet Venus, and he's having conversations with their version of Adam and Eve. It's a fascinating book. And as I'm reading it, he's asking her these questions, and he doesn't understand why she has no trouble trusting God. And she says, well, I have no reason not to trust him. Everything I have is a gift from him. I just receive whatever comes as a gift from God. I thought, man, that's a cool way to live. I want to think like that. I want to be like that. And so for the rest of the week, I just kind of like, God, I want to receive whatever comes as a gift from you. And so I literally prayed this beautiful, looking over this beautiful lake, I prayed this little simple prayer on another one of our mornings. God, I'm just excited to see what comes our way this day. And then I walk up to the car where Deborah was, and I see this, a coyote. I thought it was a wolf, but I found out wolves are like this tall. This was like this tall. And we just saw moment after moment like that. Now, I didn't put on Instagram, the picture of the park ranger who pulled me over for speeding, or the ticket that I owe $290 to pay. I didn't take pictures of the ticks that get people in line at the coffee shop in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, kept pulling off their necks next to us. That stuff happens too. But here's the amazing thing. God never promised us a life without suffering. He promised that he'd be with us in our suffering. He promised that if we trust him, he can actually bring good out of the worst moments that happen in our life. But we have to trust him. And so one of the ways that I really think kind of helps illustrate, are you in tune with the Spirit of God? Are you willing to see God at work, even if he was at work? Because I believe he is. We just miss it. We're too distracted, too busy, too much in our brain thinking of what could go wrong or what we think he should do. But Deborah had this little app that was really fun. It's called Merlin. And with Merlin, it literally will listen to the bird sounds and tell you what it is. So yesterday, I just tried this in our little backyard here in South Austin. I just clicked on that record button. It starts listening for birds. And in our backyard were all of these birds. And I can live the rest of my life and never know there's a nighthawk in my backyard, or at least close enough to where the little iPhone could hear it, or a lesser goldfinch, or a Dick Sissel? I didn't even know that existed. I've seen the cardinal. I've seen the sparrow. How many of us just see sparrows and cardinals, but we're missing all the other beautiful things because we're not looking for what he wants us to see? And here's the beautiful thing. You can start again today, or for the first time, of beginning to see with eyes of faith. It's not about religion. It's not about doing things to get to God. It's about receiving what he's already done for us. It's about being aware of his love and living in that love and bringing his love to everyone around us. And when things happen, which they will, something will happen. You'll get triggered and you'll find yourself going into that lizard brain again. Or you make a choice that is not healthy or unproductive or even destructive. What the scriptures tell us is when you veer off the course, just come back. Confess, God, forgive me. And he is quick to forgive, quick to bring us back in alignment, that we could see with his eyes, hear with his ears again. And if you're having trouble with that, ask for help. Lean into groups and community and others that are following Jesus to help you in that.